2 weeks notice. Give them nothing.
Robitussin should you prepare ravioli.
I'm Mike Raddick.
And I'm Rennis Carball.
And we want you to stay tuned for the Rolls Royce, a professional wrestling podcast, the Podcast Pit, every Saturday morning at 11 a.m.
Virginia. Zoom call. Yeah. No link on my actual screen.
The Hub Show.
Yeah, look at about two of them.
What are you doing?
有劳雷大侠深夜到此，不到之处尚请原谅。岂敢
What do I do here? I clicked on it.
丞相命老夫寻访大侠，
Where do I share it from? Oh, share at the bottom.
送上丞相亲笔密函，请雷大侠过目。当今国事险急，边关守城官兵因军粮缺乏，危在旦夕。朝廷虽多次遣送官银，乃途中数度被劫，官期极相，劫银匪徒非泛泛之辈，乃武林高手所为，故特请雷彪大侠相助。
From the center of the universe, it's Hub City's own The Hub Show. Podcasting and broadcasting about news, views, everything and nothing.
This is the Salty Sam Show, where we talk about all the topics of what's going on in today's America in the saltiest fashion. We have the vent hotline at the bottom. We always take phone calls, anonymously, of course, and you're allowed to vent anything that you feel, because in this show, in the Salty Sam Show, we believe in an unfiltered expression, and we believe in free speech and being able to say whatever it is that you want to say. So joining us, growing the Salty Sam Show, is actually giving you a voice and bringing power back to the American people and to the entire world of self-expression. Thank you, and I hope to see you on the show. Hope to hear from you.
Yo, man, what's up, man? How you doing? This your host, Jamal, coming with Iron Recovery Podcast. You know how we doing it. The podcast, we talk about transformation and change, and we give a message through our stories. Through our stories, there's hope. So come check me out every 2 weeks, Monday at 7 p.m. I'll go live, and you can find me on YouTube and Twitch at Iron Recovery Podcast. Come check us out, man. We out.
The Podcast Pit, brought to you by Benny Media.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that special time of the week. It is time to talk some wrestling. It is the Podcast Pit. I am your host, former professional wrestler, promoter of Voltage Wrestling, jack of all trades, master of what I do not know, Mike Raddick. I am alongside my broadcast partner, the man who loves his Castle Grayskull bourbon this week.
Oh, my gosh.
Rennis the Menace Carball.
We're going to pay the bills right off the bat today, folks. So, Liquor Locker, Hagerstown, Dual Highway, a special sponsor of the show, of today's Podcast Pit, and all Podcast Pits for the last couple weeks. So, we want to thank them. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a big He-Man fan and you are a big bourbon fan, let me tell you, they have at the Liquor Locker on Dual Highway. Let me tell you something, brother. They have at the Liquor Locker on Dual Highway. It's an Elijah Craig. I think it's a 9.5-year bourbon, but the label looks like the old. It's called Masters of Bourbon, and it's the Masters of the Universe. Go to their Instagram page. Go to their Facebook page. Look for it. It is gorgeous. I went and bought myself a bottle. I went and bought a friend a bottle, and I had a glass last night, and I tell you what, it is good.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, man, it is. I tell you what, and it wasn't expensive. They had it. Dixit was there. He was helping me out. The owner, who, if you haven't met, is a really nice guy, really great guy. We want to thank the Liquor Locker.
The Rolls Royce of liquor store owners.
100%.
150%.
And I used their curbside pickup.
You used the curbside pickup?
I did use the curbside pickup. No. I was able to buy my liquor on the app. Yes, they have an app. Buy it on the app, go there. I signed that. I showed my ID.
Signed your waiver.
Signed my waiver, and away I went. 2 minutes, in, out.
Yep, and now you're the master of the bourbon.
Oh, man, isn't it tough?
We're also brought to you by the good folks at DisplayJ.com. Ladies and gentlemen, signage, large signage needs for your display show, your displays, your conventions. They're coming back this year, folks. My diction is not coming back today. It looks
it's all right, man.
But hey, trade shows, conventions, indie wrestling events are coming back. You want to look as professional as you possibly can. Please see the good folks at DisplayJ.com. You've got a guy in Display J.
Isn't there also one more Wrestle Displays? Is that it?
Yes, Pro Wrestling Displays.
Displays.
That is us as well. Our man Display J. The hardworking LAJ behind here, man in the operation, engineering, everything that you see here. This man is making it easy and affordable for professional wrestlers to look as professional as possible at their autograph signings, whatever you may need. DisplayJ.com, ProWrestlingDisplays.com. Guys.
Standees, banners. I mean, the 3 foot, what are they? 3 by 10 foot pop up banners. You need them. Display J has them.
Seriously, if you saw the elaborate stuff that we have in the studio,
we have mobile green screens.
It blow your mind.
I mean, it's great. Yeah. Paying the bills early, but
paying the bills, man. Paying the bills.
But let's get some news out of the way.
Wrestling news. You know, we're not censored by Peacock, but ladies and gentlemen, some of your favorite
WWE is
some of your favorite wrestling moments may be censored.
Yes.
By the good folks at NBC and Peacock.
Yeah, so apparently they are reviewing 17,000 hours of WWE content. And what they want it more to align to their family-friendly platform.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I'm expecting that they're just going to delete the Attitude Era.
ECW is gone.
I was about to say, I was like, how are you going to get ECW? So if you still have those wrestling videos, wrestling DVDs and Blu-rays, do not get rid of them. They are about to become a collector's item and might be worth some very good money depending on what they are. I have ECW.
See what happened to those Dr. Seuss books a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah.
Guys,
I mean,
it's going to happen to your wrestling DVDs.
Now, I'll be interested to see how far they go with this, because like the two moments they definitely that were very noticeably
the Roddy Piper
one where he painted half himself black for the Bad News Brown. But yeah.
I mean, people didn't look fondly of it back then. Man, that's a WrestleMania.
And the the Vince McMahon John Cena segment where he dropped the N-word has been deleted. But I will be very interested to see. Once I get the Peacock, because I'm gonna have to, because I need to watch all the wrestling.
Yeah, you got to watch the wrestling. I don't want to watch.
Yeah, I have to watch I'm doing the work, so Mike doesn't have to. You heard it here first, folks. I've got to watch WrestleMania and stuff. 2 nights of it. I'm not gonna be happy about it, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for you folks. But I'm gonna intentionally, once I get it, once they start adding more and more content, go looking for those moments and see what they do cut. And I'm sure the internet wrestling community is probably way ahead of me there. They're going to find it. There are people who will find it immediately.
There is going to be like literally a huge chunk of ECW that's just going to be like, gone.
Like when they crucified a guy?
Well, yeah, that's going to be gone.
I mean,
Taker did the same thing a couple of years later.
Yeah, but not like that.
Yeah.
Not like the Sandman and Blue Meanie.
This is true. This is true.
But like ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling, it was bloody 90% of the time. There was the lesbian storyline. Like they're going to get rid of old ECW. The new sanitized ECW that WWE tried to do a couple years, like decades later or whatever.
That's going to get censored.
That'll get censored, but not as much. I mean.
Yeah. Man, we got 20 people in the chat here today.
That's awesome.
20 people watching us live. For those of you watching us for the first time, thank you for your support. We hope you keep coming back.
Please like, share, subscribe. We're on all major platforms.
Absolutely. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We're going to be on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you get anything.
So, yeah, a couple other things. A couple other interesting notes. That was the biggest, I think, news that happened. There's a couple other interesting notes from this week. 2 of them kind of possibly related. Andrade was granted his release.
Yep.
Without a no compete clause. He can immediately start working, which leads me to the next thing. Zelina Vega has signed a short-term contract with someone that is not AEW. So the AEW thing isn't completely out. I don't know where Andrade ends up. I would love to. I have a feeling he's going to end up maybe in Ring of Honor for a little bit. Honestly,
I'm going to be honest with you.
Maybe New Japan would be the best place for him.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think Ring of Honor should jump on that. They need something like that right now. Like I keep saying, and I say it every week, the one problem, and really the only problem with Ring of Honor, there's no sizzle there right now. They have a bunch of steak. Their product is so good. They have a bunch of steak, but there's no sizzle right yet.
So last night was their 19th anniversary show. Great. I mean, it's
fantastic wrestling as always.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great show top to bottom. John Gresham is just so good.
Yeah.
I mean, he is just so good. And over the last week, I have really become a fan of Danhausen.
Yeah, Danhausen's pretty good.
He's awesome. He's hilarious. He is the one person, and I told my boss, I was like, oh, I bet Jim Cornette hates him. And he listens to Jim Cornette all the time, and my boss is like, Jim will not watch him wrestle because he loves his promos too much. He doesn't want to hate him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I mean, the Jim Cornette seal of approval.
My one friend over at Ring of Honor is always putting him over to me. I won't mention his name on the air, but everybody knows. But yeah, like he's always putting Danhausen over to me, and you know that's saying something because he's one of the most analytical people watching wrestling that I know. So that's got to tell you how good he is.
Right.
When the analytical people, like the people that get really like cynical and kind of like, when they like a person, you know they've got to be pretty good.
Right. Yeah. He's also a decent wrestler. He's a good wrestler. I watched him last night. It was a good match. I like Danhausen. I think he's got a great gimmick. I think he's got a unique gimmick.
What else do we got this week?
So those are the 2 other things. So now we're starting to get. Did you watch Fastlane? Didn't you?
Yeah, I watched it. I enjoyed it.
The last half.
You
was
heard that right.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Mike Raddick
enjoyed
a WWE pay-per-view. I enjoyed it the whole way through.
I think the second half was
better. It's a Christmas miracle.
I think the second half was better than the first half. But yes, I enjoyed it. We're starting to get the NXT and main roster setups. I tell you the match that's going to possibly steal all of WrestleMania weekend.
What's that?
Is Gargano versus Walter.
Probably.
Or Ciampa versus Walter.
I love seeing Walter just chop people.
My boss had not seen the Dragunov Walter match, and he watched that at lunch the other day, and he was amazed. I mean, it's if you haven't, guys, if you haven't watched this match, you need to. It is incredible. But we're starting to get setups. Set up for Gargano versus Walter, or Ciampa versus, I don't know why I keep saying Gargano because I wrote it here. Ciampa versus Walter. We're going to get Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross, Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. And then I started a veritable shitstorm on Twitter the other night when I got upset that LA Knight, Eli Drake, took, in his second match in NXT, took a loss. And I said, it's poor booking. And there were a couple of people like, no, you have to be patient. I've been watching NXT since it came to the network. I subscribed to the WWE network at 12:01 a.m. I'm not joking. I woke up. I watched WWE. I skipped all my classes. I have been a subscriber since minute one.
Minute one.
Just so I could watch NXT was the big one. And I have seen guys go into NXT.
Good morning, Todd Miller. It's good to hear from you again, man.
Hey, Robbie. Yeah. Robbie Page is in the chat, too.
Robbie Page is in the chat. Oh, look at that.
But I have seen guys come in with all the hype in the world, like Eli Drake, LA Knight. And the one I'm going to go to next is EC3. And they take those early losses, and they never recover.
Yeah.
They come in, and the company makes them look like they're $1 million and that they're going to go and they are going to be that $1 million. They are going to be winners. They are going to put the entire NXT on notice. And then in his second match, he takes a clean loss. It's poor booking. Especially like a guy with Eli Drake. He's a local boy. He's been doing incredible work in TNA, NWA, and now he's finally made it to the big times, and they do this. I'm praying that they turn it around, and I'm still optimistic that they are, but your second match should not be a loss when you come in with that much hype.
Yeah. No, I agree. Again, the jury's still out on what they're going to do with them.
Yep.
I'm being optimistic.
I'm optimistic, but I've seen this before.
Yep. Yeah.
Many times.
No, I totally 100% agree with you. I've seen it before. But I'm going to be optimistic.
Right.
I actually had somebody tell me this week, and I don't mean to get off topic.
Oh, no.
I actually had somebody tell me this week, hey, I'd watch your show if you weren't WWE bashing so much. So I'm going to curve that. I'm going to try to be as positive as possible.
Listen.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Yes. Do we bash WWE? Yes.
Yeah.
But
I don't want to.
I don't want to. And honestly, their product, if you would take Raw out of the product, it'd be fine. It would really be fine.
Yeah.
SmackDown is almost always good. NXT is almost always good. Raw, like we've said, it happened and it was awful. Every week it is still
and that
not
T-shirt you
good.
can buy in my official T-shirt store at
Yeah.
ProWrestlingTees.com/Mike Raddick. It happened and it was awful. It's a T-shirt as well as a Voltage Wrestling and a Podcast Pit T-shirt. Just letting you know, cheap plugs all around this morning. But speaking of cheap plugs,
so speaking of cheap plugs,
well, no, we're not cheap. No, we're not.
I got one more thing I want to say because it's about your boy.
Okay.
AEW was good this week. Good wrestling. And that's why I like AEW. Decent wrestling. It's not a bunch of crappy storyline. It's all long-term storytelling. Your boy Vince Russo said this week, he's like, if I were in charge of AEW, there'd be much less wrestling. What?
I'll defend him when he's right. He's wrong on this one.
Yeah.
Maybe quit talking for a while.
Yeah,
maybe he should sit the next couple of plays out.
Yeah.
I
wanted to bring that up to you this week because I know how much you do defend him.
I defend him when he deserves to be defended.
Not on that.
Say that. On that one, nah, bro. Sorry.
All right.
Okay. All right, guys.
Switching back and forth.
Yes, but you know what?
You're good.
As you can see, we've got a guest here, ladies and gentlemen. Independent wrestling, it's coming back this year. It's coming back with a vengeance. So we are already seeing events pop up April, May, early June. Our event, Voltage Wrestling, popping up in early June. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But right now, we've got a special guest with us. This man is the promoter of IPO Sports Marketing. He is running Baltimore Celeb Fest coming up here in May. And we're going to talk a little bit more about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the one and only Chad Clark. How you doing, Chad?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for taking time out of your day. I know you've been busy. You are promoting I don't even have any other words for it. It is a stacked lineup of convention, like a stacked lineup for a convention, especially coming right out of COVID. You've got everybody coming out of the woodwork. I've seen Ron Simmons. I've seen the Sandman. We've got Enzo Amore. We got James Ellsworth. We've got Gilbert. The list goes on, and on. You know, we bring you on here. I want to know, like, what got you started in promoting, events like this?
Well, I've done like sports promoting, autograph signings, memorabilia, stuff like that for years. And, I've always been a wrestling fan, and I went to a few conventions and did a couple signings, and I was like, wow, I want to be a part of this. I want to do this. It's awesome.
No, absolutely. Indie wrestling. I feel like indie wrestling, and tell me if you feel the same way here. I feel like indie wrestling is like the most interactive form of professional wrestling. Small, intimate crowds where you kind of get to know the performers on like a one-on-one level. Do you feel the same way?
Absolutely. You get to know these guys when they start, and become their personalities, their personas, and stuff like that. So to see some of these guys make it from indie shows to WWE, AEW, or any of the promotions is awesome.
Yes, and here in the chat right now we've got Randy Mall, who a lot of people would know.
Randy Mania.
Yeah, this was Randy Hogan. If you've seen the meme, Randy Hogan is in the chat right now, and that's pretty awesome. Thanks
he
for
will be at Baltimore Celeb Fest.
Yes, he will. Yeah, I saw the I saw the announcement a couple of weeks back. Just like I've been waiting for it to kind of like slow down a little bit. I'm just like, okay, this guy's made all the announcements he's going to make, and then all of a sudden you make a bigger announcement.
We're not done yet.
Yeah, I know. It's literally like just when I think you can't announce anybody bigger, you're announcing somebody even bigger. It's just every day.
My phone doesn't stop. At first it was like me reaching out to people, and actually a lot of guys were like, "Oh, it's a first time convention.
Hey,
I don't know how it's going to do, that kind of thing." And then now those same guys are calling me, "Hey, do you have any tables left?
Thanks.
I want to be a part of this." And it's grown so crazy, so fast. It's ridiculous.
No, that's awesome to hear. Especially like coming right out of the gate, coming out of something. This is, historically unprecedented. Coming out of COVID-19, the vaccinations are rolling through in Maryland at a pretty rapid pace. Finally, there's some light at the end of the tunnel, and this is kind of like one of those first events of getting back at normalcy. And
that's why I kind of really wanted to do it, because like me, going to baseball games, wrestling matches, or whatever, like I miss concerts, I miss just the vibe, the atmosphere, and like I wanted to provide that right away as soon as we're able to. So that's why I wanted to do it in May. Like vaccines will be good, people will be out. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let me ask you this. You talk about all the sports marketing and all the celebrities and all the sports figures that you've had at your conventions over time. Who's the biggest one that you've had so far?
Signing or just met in person?
Just for a signing.
For signing, oh man, Cal Ripken, Justin Tucker's a good one.
Justin Tucker,
Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh man.
So you had Hogan in on one, huh?
Jersey and did a private deal at one of his conventions. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome to hear. That's awesome to hear. So, what can fans like for this is a convention going on from 11 to 3 on May 15th, if I'm not mistaken. What can fans expect for that 4 hours?
It's going to be action packed for 4 hours. So we're going to have over probably 45 guests, and so I would, plan your time wisely. If there's guys you want, specifically, make sure you kind of map out your day. It's going to be a good day. We have a DJ. We're going to have some vendors selling merchandise. We're going to have.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like like a convention, like conventions.
It's going to be a full convention.
That's awesome.
We got sponsors. We got vendors. We got guests. We have a DJ. We have concessions. There's no wrestling show. Everything that a wrestling show would bring, except for the wrestling.
Yes, and
atmosphere will be in the building.
Yeah, so that we're finally getting back to that atmosphere of live events. As far as conventions go, I know there's been a couple of pop up here on the East Coast, but this is like as far as a lineup goes, this is the most stacked convention out there right now, without a shadow of a doubt. Can you kind of run down through all of the guests that you're bringing in?
I can. I actually have a picture of the flyer here, but there's guys that are not on the flyer just because we ran out of room. And even this morning, I had another guest, text me and they're in. So we have Cass and Enzo, Demolition, Mark Henry, Tatanka, Adam Baum, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Terry Runnels, Brian Cage, Angelina Love, Velvet Sky, Tito Santana, Sandman, Virgil, Amber Nova, James Ellsworth, Diamante, Gilbert, J.J. Dillon, Kiara Hogan, Nick Aldis, James Storm, Ron Express, Deanna Perazo, Lance Archer, and we also have just got a call in. I'll put it out here now before I announce it. I'll give it
This is a first time announcement, am I right?
Yes, this is. I got it this morning. I actually told the guy we're not going to announce it until Monday, but why not?
This is a first.
Matt Seidel would be.
Wow, man, who had a banger of a match against Kenny Omega on AEW, and I've always been a fan of Matt Seidel's work in the ring. That's awesome. That's
also. Let me forget. I'm forgetting like 10 guys, and I'm not going to do it because they're not on the flyer. We got Saf from Tiger King. We have Ari Lehman, the first Jason Voorhees. We have Barry Hardy. We have Bobby Starr, local guys. We have.
Gotta love Bobby Starr, man. Randy Hogan.
Man, I feel like I'm missing someone. Oh, we have Sheiky Baby, the guy that plays the Iron Sheik on the Young Rock TV show. Brett Nazar.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
If I'm forgetting anyone, I'm sorry.
So not just wrestling personalities, but you're also getting, you're getting some fringe celebrities, just a whole mix of people coming in on top of the wrestlers.
Absolutely. That's why we did Celeb Fest, because initially I had a few celebrities I was going to bring in, but wrestling kind of dominated, so I was like, better have a few more celebrities there, just because it is a Celeb Fest.
Yeah,
that's what we did.
Now I know we talked here before. We've talked here before the broadcast. I know you have some giveaways here.
Yes,
that
I do. I have 4 giveaways I'm going to do, and these giveaways are going to be for people that buy tickets during the show or by 5 p.m. today.
All right.
So we have a signed Headbangers 8x10.
All right.
Gorgeous George signed 8x10. A Buff Bagwell signed 8x10.
There we go.
And a Tito Santana 8x10.
So,
I'm gonna hop off camera real quick.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a trivia question at the end of the show. Whoever gets the question correct gets 2 general admission tickets to Festival.
That is awesome. So,
Mike, I'll let you do the trivia question.
You want me to? Okay, we'll fire off some trivia questions here. So, I've got a couple of trivia questions. The first one, if somebody can answer.
This is for the Headbangers 8x10.
This is the Headbangers 8x10. All right, so guys, if you're listening out here, you have a chance to win an autographed Headbangers 8x10 if you can answer this question. Ladies and gentlemen, there was a Monday Night Raw on March 5th, 2001 in Washington, D.C. What major wrestling personality made his debut as a surprise on that event?
First person to answer gets the Headbangers 8x10.
Yes, and somebody just message the podcast pit, or you can even comment in the chat. First person to comment in the chat with that answer. March 5th, 2001, Monday Night Raw. What major wrestling personality made his debut on that event in Washington, D.C.? And this should be...
I don't.
Oh, it's a...
Yeah.
Yes, this guy is a wrestling revolutionary. No, it is. Oh, Tim Parks. Tim Parks got it. So Tim Parks, Tim Parks has won himself an autographed 8x10 of Mosh and Thrasher, the Headbangers, for answering correctly. The answer to the question is Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman has made his debut.
That's right.
That night as an announcer. It was a surprise to everyone, even his employees in ECW.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you don't see a lot of that anymore. And it's unfortunate. It's mostly because of the internet.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of it because of the internet, and there's a lot of loose lips. That
yeah.
It happens. Yeah. So there you go. So Tim Parks Jr. won himself an autographed 8x10 of Mosh and Thrasher. We will be touching base with you after the show, Tim, and we will get that out to you here. But what else we got here? We lost his audio.
1 second, Chad. We lost your audio.
I think we lost him.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
there we go. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, what happened there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hit the microphone button to turn the volume up.
Oh, nice.
Not better actually.
No, so
yeah, if he to win the autograph 8x10, he gets tickets today. Just tell him to come. I'll have it at will call under his name when he picks his tickets up.
okay. So there you go, Tim.
Brings his receipt or whatever. We'll have it ready for him.
There you go.
Awesome.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Like with all these celebrities coming in, like I know Kevin Nash is going to be on this thing. Kevin Nash is the headliner for this event. For those of you who haven't met Kevin Nash, probably one of the largest human beings I've ever met in my entire life. Like he was towering.
Larger than Ben?
He's about as tall as Ben.
Damn.
He is about as tall as Ben. It's towering.
Wow.
Like I remember the manager of Barefoot Bernie's is like she was a very, very short lady, and and seeing her walk up to Kevin Nash and was just like, I mean, like like I wish I could have taken a picture of it. Like,
right.
She was up to Kevin Nash's kneecap.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But
I mean, I saw him when he was in he was in Hagerstown.
Yeah,
at the
it was
last,
at that show.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
okay.
It was at that show.
At that October Big Time Wrestling event at Hager Hall before it shut down.
Yeah. So
Hager Hall, not Big Time Wrestling.
No. So Chad, let me ask you this: do you have any more conventions that you're planning or in the works, or any other?
In the works. We're going to announce a date very, very soon. I don't want to let it out yet. We're working on a headliner so we can announce, at the right time.
All right.
Probably in the fall, I would say.
All right.
Doing back to back. There's a lot of conventions in New York. We got maybe a weekend coming up. We'll be in Tampa. We're taking Maria Kanellis and Barry Reynolds to Tampa to a convention.
Nice.
That's right. You're Wrestle Stock there WrestleMania weekend. Am I right?
Yeah, we have Terry and Maria there Friday and Saturday, April 9th and 10th. And then actually in the Maryland area, everyone can come out. We're having Ronnie Garvin at 2 locations. We're having him at the Elks Lodge in Severn from 12 to 2 on April 17th, Saturday. And we're having him from 4 to 6 at Second Chance Toys in Glen Burnie, Maryland from 4 to 6.
That sounds awesome. I know the podcast pit is going to be represented in some way, shape, or form at that Ronnie Garvin signing. We will definitely be there for that, and we hope to get we're going to have a pretty decent little interview with Ronnie Garvin.
Yeah.
That will air the next week on the podcast pit. So looking forward. Oh, I know he's got great stories. He's got some, like, go ahead.
You guys want to give some more photos away?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Let's get some more photos away.
Let's do just George.
All right.
Mike, or you guys can do the trivia question.
Okay. So Gorgeous George autograph photo. Ladies and gentlemen, let's think of a trivia question here. I've got a bunch off the top of my head.
Go ahead, man.
I got a bunch off the top of my head, and I'm going to give exact dates on these.
Oh,
ladies,
that's something you're much better at than me when it comes to wrestling. You know there's exact dates, man. I got to hand that to you.
Yes.
I only know my birthday. That's about it.
Okay, I'm going to give you – I'll give you a good one. What date was the very first broadcast of the year 2002 for professional wrestling? What date did it take place on? And if you give me the town, what date and what town was it in? Yeah, we got to –
I'm working on the chat. I'm replying to stuff on the chat too. Gotta keep this.
I have no idea.
I don't either. I'm glad, like I said, man, Mike, you got those dates and stuff that I cannot.
I'm very good with dates. I'm
I'm good with certain dates, but man, when it comes to wrestling, you have that innate ability to be like, oh yeah, that happened on this day, this time. It was at this show and this location. And Ed Stilk.
Oh, yeah. Ed Stilk's real good with it.
Ed's really good with that. We had him in the studio a couple weeks ago.
So, guys, what was the date of the very first television broadcast of professional wrestling in 2002?
Man, you're getting You're getting deep in the weeds.
Yeah.
People are working.
Yes, somebody's going to have that. Somebody's going to have that answer. I'll give you another one here too, if you can.
Well, you got to hold it. We got other stuff to
Yeah.
give away, man.
All right.
120. Someone says 120 Royal Rumble.
No. The first televised wrestling event in 2002, so it wouldn't have been the Royal Rumble because we had Raw and SmackDowns before then.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and
I'm glad you know this.
I'll make it easier for you. Like you'll
It's
at least
true,
be able to
Dad.
guess the town. I was at the event, so
Oh yeah, I know it now. That makes it easier. Oh my gosh,
that should make it. No, I'm saying it narrows it down. I can only travel so far. Nope.
No, Dad.
You're very close, though.
You're very close, Dad.
Nope.
This is a good one if no one's getting it.
Yeah.
Man, nobody is getting this one. Nope.
No one's close, huh?
This is the first Nope. This is 2002, guys.
So, Chad, you've got all these. While we got people guessing in the chat and stuff, you got all these great wrestlers. Who are you most excited to have there at your event? Or give me a couple. If you can't choose just one.
I'm pretty old school, so the Rock and Roll Express is guys that I really liked and admire watching.
We got a winner. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Chad. We've got a winner. Josh Baker. Josh Baker won that trivia question January 3rd. It was a SmackDown. Yes, it was a live SmackDown, January 3rd, 2002.
And you were there, apparently.
And I was there. Yes, the main event was The Rock versus Big Boss Man.
Big Boss Man in the mainer.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
It was that. That's how long ago it was.
But yeah, the Rock and Roll Express, I'm excited. Like, I'm old school. Like Tommy Rich even. Like, that's another guy I forgot. Tommy Rich will be there. Bobby Fulton will be there. Davey Richards will be there.
Davey Richards. There's a name I hadn't heard in a
Yeah.
while.
That's all. Oh, man. I'm getting
What
more
about
and
you
more.
guys? Who would you like to see when you come there? Who would you like to meet? As a fan walking in the door, who would you most likely?
Man, you've rattled off all these names.
I've met so many.
I'm gonna go to the. I'm gonna go to the Wrestle. What is it? WrestleFest. The WrestleFest.
Baltimore Celeb Fest.
Thank you.
I'm interested.
Celeb.
I'll be honest with you.
Just to look at all the names, man, because you keep like Mike says. It seems like every time it's like, holy crap, that's the biggest name. Boom, another one. Oh, I know
You
you.
have to make another poster.
Yeah.
I know exactly who I'd run to is Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Nick Aldis.
I mean,
Very underappreciated guy. He's awesome. He's a great wrestler.
he is the epitome of what a champion should be. I mean, he's got the look. I mean, the way he carries that belt, the way he carries himself, the way he's almost always in a suit whenever he's doing any sort of. It harkens back to when like Flair was champion and he looked like $1 million.
Yeah.
That's my idea of what a champion should look like.
He carries himself
all the time.
The epitome of class.
Yeah.
The epitome of class. No, absolutely. No, but Josh Baker won that last trivia question. Good job, Josh.
Let's make it not so hard, Mike, for these guys.
Okay. A Buff Bagwell 8x10. All right. So if we're going Buff Bagwell, all right.
Oh boy.
We should. Man.
This is all you, man.
That's too easy. I had a really easy one. That's too easy. I'll give you this. Who won the heavyweight title in Washington, D.C. in December of 1998?
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah.
Was it their first time?
The first time in that company.
Oh.
So who won the heavyweight title in Washington, D.C. in December of 1998?
This one should be a little more easy.
Yeah, but Nick Aldis is probably I've heard a lot of great things about him. Of course, I mean I've never got to meet Kevin Nash, so that.
You know what was funny? Nick Aldis, when he came into TNA as Brutus Magnus, Hulk Hogan pointed him out as like that's the guy.
Uh-huh.
Like they wanted to put the machine behind him when he
Right.
first came into TNA, and this was before anybody knew him.
And why?
So I kind of like. We're getting close there, Mike. You gotta spell check. There we go.
There it is.
Mike Fox coming through with the win. Mike Fox won that trivia question. You just want to go ahead and hit up Chad Clark after this broadcast, and he will be able to give you all the details on that 8x10. But, guys, we're going to talk a little bit more. Like, we're speaking of Kevin Nash being here at the convention over the years. What's your favorite Kevin Nash moment?
Oh, man. I mean,
I've got mine.
Go ahead.
Him and Bret Hart at Survivor Series 95. That's my favorite.
Uh-huh.
That's my favorite Kevin Nash match. You got to think.
I mean, yeah,
because he's always been out of the ring stuff.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I don't have one moment, but when they first went to WCW and the interviews and the build up for the NWO takeover, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
classic.
No, Kevin Nash, people give him, like, I know the internet gives him crap all the time, but honestly, like,
the guy was a part of two of the top 5 changing moments in wrestling history. I mean, the curtain call,
yeah,
and the inception of the NWO. Like those, I mean, in a top 5,
that was in a span of like a couple of weeks,
right? In the top 5, if you would pinpoint top 5 moments where wrestling changed majorly, those two have to be in the top 5.
Absolutely.
I mean,
yeah, and I mean that happened right here. You
Yeah.
know, wins. Some of his best matches were here in the area.
Yeah,
like you have that match with Goldberg at Starrcade '98. You have the match with Bret Hart at Survivor Series right there in DC.
the one with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 11.
That was a really good one.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, got overshadowed by Bam Bam and LT there for a bit.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
but that's still it's such a good match.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely
good
Also
match.
on the card is Tito Santana. We have an 8x10.
So we got a Tito.
I'm sure you can come up with a Tito Santana trivia question that ties to the area.
A Tito Santana trivia question tied to the area. Oh man.
Man, Rock and Roll Express.
I've got one I've got a couple of Tito Santana trivia questions. Hold
He's
on.
got some stats. Like when we did the signing,
Yeah.
like I always do like some research to get stuff wrote on the items that no one else has. So when I looked him up, it was pretty cool.
Oh, seeing like all the all the stuff he's done in
the man had. Oh, absolutely.
Oh man, I don't know if you mentioned this. You just named off all these. Deonna Purrazzo is going to be there.
Yes, I named her.
Oh, man,
You're bringing up Tito Santana, and I know LAJ was a big fan of this feud. Tito Santana and Greg Valentine. I know Greg Valentine's.
Their tables will be right next to each other at the event if you want to get the photos done.
So you got the arch rivals sitting right next to each other. What's going to happen?
Absolutely.
What's going to happen there? Yeah, like maybe we get a rematch. Maybe we'll get a rematch. All right.
I'm looking at all the pictures.
Tito Santana. What can we come up with here?
The Rock and Roll Express couldn't get Jim Cornette out.
I'm gonna make this one easy. Who did Tito Santana lose his Intercontinental Championship to?
His second run.
Run number 2. This should be an easy one.
Guys are probably all on that one.
That one I don't know. You don't know? No. There we go. Yeah. No, I knew that one.
My dad's favorite, Brian Carball in the chat, my dad, Big Daddy C, favorite Kevin Nash moment is the finger poke of doom, simply because it was so ridiculous.
He lost to Valentine? No, I don't think it's Valentine.
Which one, the second time?
Yeah, the second time. Yeah. It's not Valentine, that's for sure. There we go. Kenny Zarowski. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Zarowski.
Yes, I am probably butchering these last names. I apologize in advance. But Kenny Zarowski, yeah. Kenny Zarowski wins it.
Tito was a king of the ring winner. He was 2-time Intercontinental Champion, 2-time Tag Team Champion. He wrestled the first ever WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
What else? He's in the Hall,
Yeah.
he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Just,
Tito Santana.
he was a legend, man.
Absolutely, and like it still surprised me. I'll watch videos from back then. Like he was over like a muff.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
he
yeah,
was
dude.
Over his tag team champions the first time. Oh,
He was with Rick Martel one time. Ivan Putski.
Ivan Putski. There you go. I remember the Strike Force days.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That guy doesn't do anything, man. Like every promoter in the United States has reached out to Rick Martel, throwing big money. He will not.
He won't do it.
He will not do an autograph signing.
Wow.
I don't know if he has plenty of money or he just doesn't want to do it.
That's
everyone needs him.
Yeah, some people just don't like to travel. Like I've kind of learned that over the years. Like you reach out to some guys, like Taz is like that. He's very selective about what he does.
He just doesn't like to travel.
Yeah, I think he just
blame
doesn't
him.
like to travel, and I don't blame him. He's made his money, you know.
Right.
Like let him. Yeah, like at some point, you know, people got to settle down. Like people
Right.
want to live a normal life sometimes.
Right.
So, like I
think that's why the AEW gig is so nice for him, because it's just in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Like and they work like 1 day a week. They do a bunch of tapings in 1 or 2 days, and then boom, he's done. So I think that's why it works for him.
Absolutely.
I mean, he does Dark too, which is, if you haven't watched AEW Dark, you have to watch it solely for Taz's commentary. He is so funny.
Yeah, Taz is amazing on commentary.
It's Taz.
He's always been a great commentator. Though.
Yeah.
With Michael Cole or with Tenay or you know whoever, he's always been great. But I want to wrap this up because we got a few more announcements here that we've got to make in regards to some upcoming events here around the area. But where can they find you on the web to get tickets for this event?
It's at BaltimoreCelebFest.com. We're also on Facebook, IPO Sports Marketing. You can find us in a search. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram under IPO Sports Marketing.
All right. Now I do know you wanted to do one more thing here before we do wrap.
I give away a pair of tickets to Celeb Fest, 2 general admission tickets to someone that doesn't already have tickets, and all they have to do is just show ID at the will call at the day of. So whatever you want to do to give that away, if you want to do
all right,
a trivia question or.
Okay. You know what? Yeah, we'll do another trivia question. Let me think of one here.
It's got to be a good one.
It's got to be a real good one.
Don't screw it up, Mike. No pressure.
No pressure. Let's not screw this one up. All right.
Who is? Oh.
Okay. What was?
Come on.
All right.
You got it.
Yeah. We're gonna think of a really good one here. I'm just like right off the top of my head. Not ButchHess.com.
And the gimmick continues.
And the gimmick continues. Zing, got him.
Also Lance Archer. Solely because I want to know about his. You know, I want to know. I love New Japan Pro Wrestling. I absolutely love New Japan Pro Wrestling. He had a great career over there. His feud with Moxley. Feud with everyone. I mean, and the dude is also a monster. I mean, he's huge. And now he gets to work with Jake the Snake. Like, what an awesome. The dude's had a great career, and you know, literally travel the world. And a lot of these guys have traveled the world. You know, they've worked all over the world. You just don't hear about it a lot because now it's before the time where we had the internet and we had streaming services. Like now I can go online and watch New Japan Pro Wrestling right now. You didn't have that.
Yeah.
You know,
it's so nice to have all those now that
Yeah.
you can just watch whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. All right. This is probably going to be a pretty easy one.
Oh man, this guy.
All right. So William Regal, during the kind of tail end of the Attitude Era and Invasion, was the WWF commissioner.
Uh-huh.
How did he win the WWF commissionership, and what town did he win that in?
Whew.
And if you have the date of this, because I mentioned something earlier on the show that would allude to the date of this, I'll give you extra points. Not that matters. You're getting tickets, so.
Tim Parks, you just mentioned I'm trying to get on the Lance Archer bandwagon, but I can't get past Murder Hawk Monster. You got to stick with it. I tell you, if you've got the access to it, go watch him versus Will Ospreay in round 1 of the not New Japan Pro Grand Prix. It's the G1 Climax in 2000. See if I can get the date. 2019. That match is incredible. Two very different styles working really well together. And then any match that he had with Jon Moxley over the Texas Death Match that he had, that was his last match, I believe, in New Japan Pro Wrestling for the United States title. Those two matches alone are both, I mean, incredible. Kind of show what this guy is capable of and can do.
So nobody's getting this question. Who did William Regal beat to win the commissionership?
Who did William? You
Yes.
said how?
No, who did William Regal beat to win the commissionership of the WWF in 2001?
I think I might have. I have a guess, but I don't know.
I have no idea.
This is one of my favorite moments live because I got to see something pretty funny.
I remember him having to join the. I wonder how much of the Mr. McMahon Kiss My Ass Club they're going to delete off of the Peacock.
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
Everything's getting deleted off of Peacock.
Yeah, I think that it's like I saw a meme. I was like, we bought all this content, and then after they edited it, it's like, what happened to it all? You know, like.
So just repeating the question again for all of you that are just jumping into the chat right now. Who did William Regal beat in 2001 to become WWF commissioner?
Double what?
WWF commissioner.
W?
WWF.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right. Oh, is that correct?
That is correct. Shane Dietrich. Yes, Shane Dietrich wins by mentioning Al Snow. Al Snow is who William Regal beat to become WWF commissioner. March 6th, 2001. Yes, Shane Dietrich. Yes, March 6th, 2001, Washington, D.C. at the MCI Center. There you go.
That's awesome.
All right, Shane. So come out or message me, and we'll put you on the will call for 2 tickets for Celeb Fest.
So, Shane, you have won yourself 2 tickets to Baltimore Celeb Fest Live, the Benefield Sports Center in Millersville, Maryland. Ladies and gentlemen, you can get your tickets at BaltimoreCelebFest.com. And we hope to see everybody there.
A real quick shout out to the sponsors for the event.
Absolutely, please do.
We got Lips Smack and Barbecue out of West Virginia.
Great barbecue.
He's coming in.
The best barbecue.
We have, Strike 3 Consulting for all your commercial lighting needs. Primetime Boxing in Baltimore, and I think that's it. Yeah, and IPO Sports Marketing.
Awesome. Well, Chad Clark, it is good to have you here.
Thanks for.
Hey, maybe you even want to hang on the line here. Hang on the line here with us just for a little bit before we'll go ahead and wrap this show up, and then we'll talk a little bit afterwards. But guys, the big thing that we wanted to announce on this show today.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we have a big announcement.
Yes, we do.
Chad, you probably don't know this, but we're about to launch Voltage Wrestling, Martinsburg, West Virginia, June 5th at O'Connell's Irish Pub.
Nice. Awesome.
It's going to be a great event. I know you were excited for it here. You know, when we were telling you about it here before the show, you were kind of excited. But we are announcing our first match for the Fight Pro, not the Fight Pro.
That's the old one.
Yes, that's the old one. The Voltage Wrestling Grand Championship Tournament, first round matchup. We're going to announce the first one right here. And ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be the wild-eyed headbanger, Mad Max Morrison. He's going to be going one-on-one with Triple Fear's Kevin Mears. So we've got Max Morrison versus Kevin Mears, June 5th. This is going to be one of the first-round matchups in the tournament. And this is
and
the
a
first
champion will be crowned that evening.
Yes, a champion. Somebody is going to win this beautiful, gorgeous-looking championship.
We've only had the belt for a year, and we're finally going to get it to someone.
Yes, yeah. Somebody's
we've got
winning.
The belt
this.
made and everything.
We've got the belt made and everything. Somebody is going to win this beautiful championship June 5th at O'Connell's Irish Pub. We're going to have an 8-man tournament, and let me tell you, folks, this 8-man tournament is stacked. If you are a fan of area wrestling, the who's who of area wrestling will be in this tournament.
Yeah, so far we've announced Mad Max Morrison, Kevin Mears, old school, almost called him big time Corey Bush, but he is now the way of the world, Corey Bush.
He's going to be in the tournament.
Brandon Scott, I mean, an incredible talent. Sickened
Sickened, yeah.
And we're going to be announcing more as we go on, guys.
Ruthless Jason Raditz is going to be in the tournament.
Yeah, so we've got a couple.
You can announce this here if you want, guys. I'll bring in someone to sign autographs, a legend, a Hall of Famer. Someone will be in there to sign autographs that day.
Yes, and we'll over the next several weeks we will let you know who that is going to be.
Yeah,
but
guys,
somebody is going to be there.
This is going to be an event you do not want to miss.
Do not miss this event. And tickets for this event are on sale at voltagewrestling.com. You can get your tickets. Once again, voltagewrestling.com is where you want to get those tickets. And we hope to see everybody there. All right, guys.
All right.
I think that's all we got today.
Yep.
Thank you guys again for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks
Well,
for
Chad,
being here, Chad.
stay on the line here afterwards. Once we go off the air, we'll talk a little bit more. But ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up for us this week for Rennis Carball, for LAJ, for Display J, for Liquor Locker, for ProWrestlingDisplays.com. I am Mike Raddick. We will see you next week. Same podcast time, same podcast channel.
This is the podcast page brought to you by Ben Media.